It's the place to be for every person in higher education in Africa. Better be there or be nowhere.
Continuez de regarder la télé et surtout sur le AAU.
Keep watching it and it will change the way you interact with higher education on the continent. AAU, great job.
I want to tell you that AAU television is fantastic, it's educative, it's informative, and it is a must for anybody who is interested in higher education in Africa.
When I was in Accra last year, I did an interview on this TV. It's a very important mouthpiece.
It's a data, it's a bank of all we need for the development of higher education in Africa.
People should make an effort to view it because it discusses very current issues of development across the continent.
I believe that the station will continue to promote the overall development of Africa, particularly in the tertiary education sector.
Aau TV provides a platform and shares a lot of information to a broader audience. So we wish you all the best and please continue serving
Aau TV,
the voice of higher education in Africa.
A job in higher education institution on the African continent, there is no need to go looking. The Africa Education Jobs Board will deliver available jobs to you via our platform. To start your search, visit our website. On our website, you will find variety of job postings classified by the sectors and professions they belong to. There are sections devoted to variety of career-related materials, as well as information on African countries. All information you require based on the job description and requirements are accessible on the site. If you are looking for a job in higher education on the continent,
You're welcome to the Midweek News on Aau TV, your trusted source of higher education. My name is Jemima Daladem Doche.
And I am Amiko Takwanyame.
In our headlines for higher education, Makerere University set to slash new humanities students intake by 5,000. And in our health, mild fever helps clear infections faster, new study suggests.
In our Discovery News, scientists invent multi-purpose Africa. And also in our entertainment news, Côte d'Ivoire Fashion Week showcases 10 African designers. Please stay with us for more news. We'll be right back.
In our news in detail, over 3,000 law graduates from at least 6 universities have been stranded for 7 years after completion, wondering when they will gain admission to pursue their diploma course at the Kenya School of Law.
Graduates of the University of Nairobi, Kenyatta University, Strathmore, Catholic University of East Africa and Moi University appealed to the Kenya School of Law to admit them. The students, after pursuing their law degrees, are unable to practice because they have not undergone the 1-year training at the Kenya School of Law to get a diploma into law before they can be admitted into the role of advocate by the Chief Justice. Mbakasi East MP Babu Owino, who accompanied the law students, told the media at the Milimani Law Court on Tuesday. Mr. Owino urged the concerned institutions to act to salvage the students from further agony. The affected students expressed concerns that time is passing and they do not know what the future holds. The students who graduated from these universities between 2015 and 2022 are almost losing hope to ever joining the Kenya School of Law. An aggrieved student who did not want his name disclosed told Nairobi News that the students studied law with the hope of returning to society to help them resolve an array of issues that have bedeviled them over the years. The graduates said their careers are now being nipped by the Kenya School of Law administration, which has failed to admit them so that they can pursue the dreams of their lives. The aggrieved students have instructed lawyers to file suits to compel the Kenya School of Law to admit them.
Still on higher education, Makerere University Vice-Chancellor Barnabas Nawangwe has announced plans to reduce university's intake of undergraduate students by 5,000. Meanwhile, the phase reduction, if approved, will take effect next academic year, starting in August.
According to the university's Vice-Chancellor, Professor Nawangwe, the changes reflect the transformation of Makerere, Uganda's oldest public university, into a research institution. He said that there were programs which could not be reduced because the numbers are still low, especially STEM. However, the number of students pursuing degrees and other qualifications in humanities would be reduced. Makerere at present has 35,256 students, with those studying arts outnumbering science counterparts by about 5,000, according to university records. Overall, Makerere University has been admitting 13,000 undergraduate students annually, with Makerere placed at Uganda's best and 13th top in Africa in the latest Webometrics ranking. Vice-Chancellor Nawangwe said the student number reduction plan means the institution will raise the admission cutoff point. Prof. Nawangwe assured that the institution will use the same admission criteria but with a higher cutoff point. However, if the limit for the number of students to be admitted per program is reached, the rest will be cut off. It was said that the number of graduate students needs to grow commensurate to the reduction, which at peak would be fixed at 8,000 undergraduate students to avoid reducing student enrollment and puncturing the bigger financial hole in the institution's bank account. However, the student and academic staff leaders scoffed at the plan to transform Makerere into a research-led institution.
So that is an interesting one coming from the Makerere University, I must say, saying that they would want to slash their undergraduate student intake by 5,000 and also trying to adjust their courses to suit the important ones that they would want to focus on. But then I would want us to delve into why Makerere University is considering cutting down the number of undergraduate students.
First of all, I must state that currently Makerere is basically looking at transforming its institution into a research-led university.
Exactly.
And hence the downsize of the graduate students. And currently, Makerere is Uganda's best and 13th top in Africa. And so, given that they would want to transform their institution now to a research-led institution, the most important thing is to have a lot of graduate students enroll in. Hence, the need for the downsizing. And currently, according to reports, only 15% of Makerere's population accounts for the graduate students, and it looks forward to extending that to 30%, which makes perfect sense that now Makerere wants to cut down on their undergraduate students so that it can enroll more of the graduate students.
I also see that Makerere University now would want to, focus on their STEM-related programs and reduce their intake in humanity courses like the science, technology, engineering and mathematics. And then, as you said, Makerere is trying to be a research-based institution, and then STEM courses are also going to help Makerere come out as a good research-led institution. But why the need for the transition, though?
Oh, basically, it's simple. Research is the backbone to development in every country, and so when you go to all these developed countries, you can see that research is developing all spheres of their lives when it comes to health, when it comes to agric, when it comes to science, technology, engineering, mathematics, when it comes to education. I mean, basically all of it. Research is what is holding their backs. Research is what is pushing them. Without research, I don't think our viewers can be watching us on their televisions. Without research, we wouldn't have our phones. So currently, you know, the United Nations ranked Uganda as one of the least developed countries in the world. Now, if Uganda wants to be part of the developed countries in the world, then there's a need for them to up their games when it comes to research. How do you do that? You have to enroll a lot of the graduate students, which is exactly what Makerere University is doing. So I think it's a step in the right direction.
Okay, so it is a step in the right direction for Makerere University. Health news is up next.
And now in our health news, a new research from the University of Alberta suggests that it may be better to let a mild fever run its course instead of automatically reaching for medication. This comes after research found untreated moderate fever helped fish clear their bodies of infection rapidly, controlled inflammation, and repaired damaged tissue.
Although the health advantages of natural fever to humans still have to be confirmed through research, the researchers say because the mechanisms driving and sustaining fever are shared among animals, it is reasonable to expect similar benefits are going to happen in humans. The study led by Barida suggests that humans should resist reaching for over-the-counter fever medications, also known as non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, at the first sign of mild temperature. He stated that as those medications take away the discomfort felt with fever, they are also likely to take away some of the benefits of this natural response. The study helps shed light on the mechanisms that contribute to the benefits of moderate fever, which Barida notes has been evolutionarily conserved across the animal kingdom for 550 million years. For the study, fish were given a bacterial infection and their behavior was then tracked and evaluated using machine learning. Outward symptoms were similar to those seen in humans with fever, including immobility, fatigue, and malaise. These were then matched to important immune mechanisms inside the animals. The research showed that natural fever offers an integrative response that do not only activate defenses against infection, but also helps control it. The researchers discovered that fever helped clear the fish of infection in about 7 days, which was half the time it took for animals that were not allowed to exert fever. It also helped in the reduction of inflammation and the repair of damaged tissues.
Stick with us for Discovery News after the break.
And the University of Namibia cordially invites you to the 22nd edition of the Conference of Rectors, Vice Chancellors and Presidents of African Universities, COREVIB, holding from the 4th to the 7th of July 2023 in Windhoek, Namibia. This year's COREVIB will convene Chief Executive Officers of higher education institutions in Africa, Ministers of Higher Education, researchers, academics, partners from the development and industry communities, as well as all stakeholders interested in higher education. The overall theme of the conference is Advancing Excellence in African Higher Education and is comprised of the following sub-themes. Register today on our dedicated event website at www.events.aau.org/COREVIB or call +233 24473 6280 or +233 2641 73153 to participate in Africa's biggest higher education event holding this year. Do not miss this golden opportunity to network, expand your knowledge, contribute to shaping Africa's higher education sector, and form new relationships while strengthening existing ones. To hold a side event, exhibit, sponsor the event, book a speaking slot, and for further information, contact Ransford at aau.org or ndako@aau.org. AAU.
Welcome to GTP Health and Safety Corner. Charging up goes a long way. Strengthen your immune system. Your immune system needs all the help it can get. Eat well, stay hydrated. Hands pick up a lot. Avoid touching your face. Your well-being is in your hands. Sanitize regularly. Stay safe. GTB, timeless.
And now in our Discovery News, having identified the challenges faced by most commercial fishmongers in Ghana, the Kumasi Technical University has invented a multi-purpose improved fish smoker with spectacular abilities. The invention was spearheaded by engineer Dr. Joseph Ribeiro, a lecturer from the institution.
Ovens have been improved massively since the time of the making of the world's first oven. Most commercial fish smokers in Ghana rely mainly on ovens that require the usage of firewood and charcoal rather than electric oven despite its features. Unfortunately, this method adopted by these fish smokers is considered costly as it consumes tons of charcoal and firewood. Scientists have also correlated some health risks such as poor eyesight, burning eyes, dizziness, shortness of breath, difficulty breathing, cough, and headaches with this method of fish smoking, among other challenges. Fortunately, a scientist by the name Engineer Dr. Joseph Xavier Francisco Ribeiro of Kumasi Technical University has introduced the multi-purpose improved fish smoker with amazing features.
The challenge with the traditional setups is that they lack the lagging. Some of them are using barrels, just the barrels, and then they have the trays in there. And for the others who have attempted some improvement, the heat just passes through and then it's gone out. But what we have done is to contain the heat within it for some time, at least for a longer period of time, so that it takes very little firewood to continue to maintain the heat. This should easily be able to handle about 5 cartons of fish, so that we use very little amount of wood to be able to smoke it.
We'll be right back with news on sports and entertainment. Stay tuned.
You're welcome to the sports and entertainment news. My name is Isabella Tete Ahenawa. In sports, Rwanda is investing heavily in sport through partnerships with clubs such as Arsenal and PSG and the organization of the World Road Cycling Championship in 2025, a strategy that has drawn criticism from the opposition as numerous concerns have been raised about its usefulness for the economy of the 73rd FIFA Congress host country. With collaboration with teams like Arsenal and PSG and the hosting of the World Road Cycling Championship in 2025, Rwanda is making significant investments in sport. The opposition, who questions its value for the economy of the nation hosting the 73rd FIFA Congress, has criticized this tactic. In 2018, it was a multi-million-dollar sponsorship of English Premier League team Arsenal and a showy agreement to support the French juggernaut Paris Saint-Germain the next year. The Visit Rwanda is currently displayed on fields in the Premier League and Ligue 1. With club sponsorship and hosting responsibilities for events ranging from the Basketball African League tournament in 2021 to Cycling's Road World Championship in 2025, Rwanda authorities' vision begins to take shape. It has taken a lot of work to give the nation new sporting facilities. That is $104 million for a 10,000-seat basketball arena. $16 million for a Kigali golf course that will open in 2021 and $165 million set aside for the National Stadium's ongoing construction, which will see its capacity increase to 45,000 by 2024. President Paul Kagame has invested a sizable sum of money in sports, which he claims will improve the country's reputation abroad and diversify its economy.
And in our entertainment news, during the 16th annual Afrique Fashion Week held in Abidjan, the capital of Côte d'Ivoire, 30 designers and 60 models from several African countries were given the platform to showcase their works and foster collaborations.
The 16th edition of Afrique Fashion Week, which was held this week in Abidjan, the commercial hub of Côte d'Ivoire, was all glitz and glamour. The fashion show's youth, fashion and cultural diversity theme brought together 60 models and 30 designers from several African nations. For this edition, Isabel Ano, the event organizer, said they sought to put their best foot forward by allowing Africa's designers to share the stage with local designers. Furthermore, it was not simply about clothes. There were lots of handbags, pieces of jewelry and shoes for everyone to view and enjoy. For fashion designer Nancy, the occasion was also a chance for someone who aspires to work in the industry to learn and acquire a little more exposure. Several people thought the event was a great chance to network with people in the business from all around the continent. Others also had the chance to network with several designers and learn about other creators and models. Afrique Fashion Week was an exquisite display honoring the variety of Africa's fashion designs and materials.
That is all for sports and entertainment news. I am Isabella Teta Hinakwa. Coming up, business news.
Now in our business news, Nigeria's National Bureau of Statistics has disclosed that the nation's inflation rate has risen to 21.91% compared to January 2023 rate of inflation, which was 21.82%. The recent Consumer Price Index report indicates a 0.09 percentage point increase when compared to January 2023 headline.
According to data released by the National Bureau of Statistics (NBS) on 15th March 2023, the country's inflation rate has increased to 21.91% from 21.82% in January. This information was provided in a recent Consumer Price Index report, which showed an increase of 0.09 percentage points from the headline inflation rate in January 2023. After the nationwide currency crisis and concerns surrounding the just concluded presidential election, inflation rates increased. The headline inflation rate was also 6.21 percentage points higher on an annual basis than the rate that was registered in February 2022, which was 15.70%. This demonstrates that when compared to the same month the year before, February 2022, the headline inflation rate increased in February 2023. According to the research, the increase of bread and cereal 21.67%, actual and imputed rent 7.74%, potatoes, yam and other tubers 6.06%, vegetables 5.44%, and meat 4.78% were the main contributors to the rise in food inflation. The NBS claimed that higher costs for oil, fat, fish, meat, vegetables, yam and other tubers, bread and cereals, and other goods were to blame for the rise in food inflation.
Up next is international news.
At least 15 people died after a magnitude 6.8 earthquake struck southern Ecuador on Saturday afternoon, according to government officials.
More than 400 people have been hurt, with at least 15 fatalities after a 6.7 magnitude earthquake hit Ecuador's southern coast. This earthquake destroyed buildings in various places. The earthquake was felt in northern Peru, where a 14-year-old girl was killed when her home fell in the border district of Tams. Machala and Cuenca in Ecuador were two of the cities where buildings and automobiles were damaged, while rescue personnel hurried to assist victims. The epicenter was close to Balao, which is about 80 kilometers from Guayaquil, Ecuador's second largest city with a population of about 3 million. Machala resident Exxon Toba said to BBC, "We fled the house. The explosion caused the ground to quake and caused the electric cables, windows and everything else to move. Because it continued, people prayed in the streets." As officials examine the damage, President Guillermo Lasso has urged Ecuadorians to maintain their composure. According to the authorities, more than 250 injured persons received medical attention in the Alero village of Pasige, and virtually all of them were subsequently released. Authorities reported that numerous residences, educational facilities and health centers had sustained damage, in addition to several roadways being blocked by landslides. One person was reportedly murdered in Cuenca, Azuay province, when a wall fell on their automobile, while 3 individuals perished on Jambel Island in the Eloro province, where a security camera tower collapsed. Several other places, including Manabi, Manta, and the capital, Quito, have reported feeling the tremor as well. This earthquake is the most powerful to strike Ecuador since the one in 2016 that left almost 700 people dead and thousands injured.
Thank you for staying with us. Let's take a quick recap of our headlines.
In our higher education, Makerere University is set to slash new humanities student intake by 5,000. And in health, mild fever helps clear infections faster, new study defines.
And also in our discovery story, scientists invest a multi-purpose improved fish smoker. In our entertainment news, Cote d'Ivoire Fashion Week showcases 30 African designers.
Now, thank you for sticking with us on the Mid-Week News on AAU TV, and get interactive with us on our dedicated news hub via tv.aau.org.
Do enjoy the rest of your news. Bye.